Good evening, everybody. I know that we've had at least two people in the chat waiting, hanging out. They probably left, come back, but just going to be doing essentially another CGC boxing, or like picking out the books, getting ready to pack them up for another submission. And we have tonight Mr. JP himself hanging out as well. Welcome.
JP
Thanks.
Himself, yeah. It feels like I'm important or something.
The man JP himself.
No.
Hey, you got over 1,000 subs. That makes you important now.
I guess. I'm not sure how that happened, but
it was clearly the backseat bump. I mean,
it was definitely the backseat bump.
It got you
me
five
for sure.
5 whole subscribers.
Hey, that's what it took.
A 0.5%.
So wouldn't have made it there without it. Would not have made it without it.
I'm going to continue to claim that.
You definitely should.
So
really, what's going on?
I talked to Thanatos a little bit earlier. He said he's going to try and hang out. We'll see if he comes back, or maybe he is already back and just lurking. We've got the Unruly Simeon. Obviously, me, got JP, and Unruly is back. Unruly, so there are these 3 books that I might show. Like they're already graded. They've been graded for a while, and I'm thinking of getting them reholdered. There he is. He is back. TJ wanted to come and hang out, but he's going to be working till about 59 minutes from now.
Oh yeah, he has to work late on Saturdays.
Yeah, I'll probably try and just stick to 10-ish in the future, but I was not going to be able to make it tonight that late.
I got to make it till another like 3 hours or 4 hours or something. 4 hours till I go on with Robert. I'm never going to make it.
So you need coffee.
I'm going to have to like take a nap and set my alarm.
Coffee. Although that probably won't work out so well.
Well, especially it might work for me. I don't actually drink caffeine.
Does the title still say "With the Boy Who Had 7"? He was going to try and make it, but obviously he's not able to be here. So I'll go and fix that later. I think the title says that it's "With the Boy Who Had 7", but
he'll be here. Maybe he'll hang out in the chat. He's with us in spirit.
I think he's still working on moving, is what he said, and they also had like a family get together or something today. But maybe maybe he'll make it into the replay. But yeah, so these 3 I'm looking at getting reholdered. Other than that, it's all pretty much modern books. So actually, I'll kick it off.
Clean and not a crack pressing thing, just a reholder.
Yeah, at least for 2 of them, probably all 3. But so this Green Lantern 59, it's a 7.5.
Here, make me tiny.
Oh yeah. Stand by. There we go. Oh god, that glare is horrible.
Just angle your book. Just angle the book a little bit.
Oh no, I know what the problem is. I left my face lighting light on. There we go. I'm not sure what Thanatos is talking about. He said it does.
He's talking about your title.
Oh, okay.
That was still about the Boy Who Had 7 thing. So. Oh yeah, that's super. That's the OG label right there, man.
Yeah, and like Unruly, I got to agree. I don't like the lack of strength that the coffee comes out in, but I like using it for hot chocolate.
Yeah.
So yeah, Matt, I don't know that I want to get it regraded. I might. I'm looking at it again actually right now and thinking that maybe I will get it clean pressed. But what makes me nervous, it's a 7.5, slightly rusted staples, creamed off-white pages. And I think that the
staples are probably like capping you out potentially.
Yeah, and I don't like if it started to spread into the pages at all, I don't want it to knock down the grade. Right. Also, you guys know how much I love a 7.0, 7.5 in a silver or bronze.
Yeah, you have this weird like 7 or 9 plus. You don't like 8. But that haven't quite figured out yet.
Neither have I. But it's just more of a visceral reaction.
I guess I get it. If it's an 8, it's like I should just have a 9. And if it's a 7, it's like, oh, I'm nowhere near a 9, so it's not a big deal. I sort of get where you come from on that, but it's just kind of funny.
Yeah, it's like it's teasing me. It's like, oh, you almost had it. You almost had it, but no, you don't have it.
Incorrect.
Actually, I just realized.
So that's one of your potential reholders.
Thank you for getting me back on track. I was about to distract myself again.
Oh, you're good.
The other one is Fantastic Four 52. It's the second generation. So unruly. I said the other day we are Grail twins because we both have 7.0 Black Panthers, or FF52 rather. Excuse me. And this one, I'm almost definitely not going to get it regraded because I don't think it would get a 7.0 again, if I'm honest. Like the edges of the cover are pretty. I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not, but you can see that it's not black across the top like it should be, and the spine has a couple of ticks. The corners have some creases, so this would probably just be a. Also, the back looks like it's actually off-white or tan. Yeah. It says off-white pages, so maybe that's just. I don't know. I'll probably have my presser look at it and tell me what he thinks. He's usually a little harsher than CGC, so.
Yeah, well, that's always good.
And then finally, I've got a Nova number 1 in a 9.6 white pages. I was able to upgrade. I had bought a mystery box from the boy who had 7, like his first round, and I got a Nova number 1, and it came back a 9.0, and I was able to use that to upgrade to this 9.6 because this and my X-Men 101, which I guess you can't see, but that 8.0 X-Men 101, which goes against everything I stand for, goes an 8.0. Basically found I found them both on eBay. I think it might have been the same seller. They were just ridiculously low prices for the grades, and I made an offer that was lower still. Like my X-Men 101 purchase single-handedly dropped the Go Collect value for 8.0s by $50.
That's always good.
It was fantastic. But I timed it. It was right after the movie had dropped. The Dark Phoenix movie had dropped and failed. And so no one wanted anything to do with it.
You know, because that's why you loved it in the first place, was the movie.
Right? Yeah. But yeah, so similar thing with Nova 1. Obviously, there hasn't been quite the same hype. And now it sounds like it might be Frankie Ray, according to some dude. I don't know what his credibility is, if any. But yeah. Let's see. Sorry, back to the chat real quick. Unruly. Thank you, sir. Hell yeah. God, I think that was a typo of Grail. Grail twins for sure. Yeah, I mean, I don't deny that it is a weird thing.
So I get it. Most books, here's the thing, most books, if you can like swing an 8.0, 8.5, you could probably swing a 9. And not all the ways, but for most things, if it's a cheap enough book that you can get like in that range, you could probably get to a 9. Where a book that you're probably going to be okay with a 7.5, you're probably not affording a 9 anyway. So it's kind of I mean, I get where you're cutting the thought process, but I wouldn't be like, oh darn, I have an 8.5.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like my Thor 166 and Avengers 71 that came back a few months ago in an 8.5. Those I'm pretty darn happy with.
Yeah,
it's just. There are a couple where I'm okay with it. Just because Thanatos is in here, I wanted to pull these out real quick because I've got both of these back pretty recently. This is a little bit of a gut punch that it came back at 9.4, but it's more than made up for that this came back at 9.2. I still can't believe that I got a 9.2 Green Lantern 87. I don't even know if he's still in here. I know he's at work on a night shift, so he might be in and out. He might have already had to just leave. But if he makes it back in time to see these, there he is.
Yeah, he was there for the Green Lantern. So, yeah, that book has been jumping. That was a book that was I would have liked to have tracked down at some point, but yeah, it's screaming up at the moment. So,
I can't disagree with you there, Unruly. It's a very true statement. I really hope that it's Dick Ryder that is in the movies, because that would, I mean, come on, it would be perfect for Guardians of the Galaxy humor, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would.
Like it would be jokes that were unsaid through the whole movie, but people just like start to make comments and then just stop themselves. I feel like it would be perfect.
Yeah, I feel like if James Gunn has anything to say, it will be. If Disney has anything to say, it'll be Sam Alexander.
Yeah, it's true.
Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen. That Disney is not going to put a $1 billion movie based on a character named Dick Ryder.
You never know. You never know.
Doesn't seem like the Disney move, but
Disney's, I feel like, loosened up a little bit on that type of stuff.
They have a little bit, but
we'll see. So I wanted to show those because I own the first appearance of every Green Lantern except for Hal Jordan, unless you count this one Vicar dude he shows up in Green Lantern 55 and is gone by Green Lantern 57, I think. He like takes over for 2 issues and then dies.
That's very cool. There's a lot of Green Lanterns to have first appearances of.
So let's see. So now we will get into the raw books that I'm submitting.
So does that
in the order that I want to go through?
So I didn't ask you why you were on it. That Nova book have a shot of a clean and press to go to a 9.8, or you think it's just a 9.6? Is just where it's at?
I'm gonna have to take another look. Actually, I'll pick it up again now. Hold on. Let me put these aside. No, you're fine. I didn't say one way or the other earlier. I think that it's probably a 9.6.
Yeah, I have a couple books like that. It's just like, yeah, there's no point, but
like this corner looks a little bit blunted, and like I'm probably gonna be nitpicky on this one since it's already a 9.6.
Yeah,
and I think this corner has a small, like it's a really damn tiny crease, but I think there's a crease. I think. But if anyone can get me a grade bump on this thing, it's my buddy Deep Pressing Comics.
Nice.
Oh wait, so there's a crease on this corner. You might not be able to see it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so probably
it's definitely
it's probably.
And so several of the books that I had him press this time were the other Green Lantern first appearances that I had picked up. If I can find the damn things. Okay, cool. Trying not to show what the books are, but I feel like I'm just taking up time. But what does anybody have to do right now? If they gotta go, they gotta go. If not,
there you go.
All right, so here's one. So here is the first Simon Baz, or I guess this is the origin of Simon Baz, but it's also the money book versus. So it's Green Lantern 0. It's the money book versus the free comic book day where he first shows up, and I think he's just some dude in this one. I can't remember anymore. I read it a while ago.
Okay.
And now I just can't remember. So put those. So I'm planning on submitting both of those.
Okay.
Because I'd like to have the first appearance of every Green Lantern slabbed. Then we've got Justice League 31. So both of those you said were 9.8 candidates. These are the sticky notes from my presser. He thinks this one is as well. This is the first full Jessica Cruz.
Yeah, that's the one I don't. I have the Green Lantern and the one before that. I don't actually have that one yet.
I had him press those as well, but there was on the Green Lantern 20. That's like her first, where her hand shows up with the ring.
It's like her hand on 20, and then
and that one had a color break. Even though it's a square mount, it had a significant color break like right here. So okay. I'm gonna wait until I can find a better copy of that.
Gotcha.
And then I think that's the only other Green Lantern book that I've got.
So do you have?
Okay.
So do you have 50 where she actually becomes a Green Lantern, or do you just have the 3 original?
I don't have that one yet. So I guess technically I'm missing that and Showcase 22. So far.
I mean, she's Power Ring or whatever. It's not really a money book for her anyway. So, but I was just curious if you were that much of a completionist or not.
That's probably the extent of my completionism. Like, I'm not a run collector or anything, but I will, if I'm unsure of what to consider the first appearance, then especially if it's a modern book that's relatively cheap, I'll probably try and grab all of them.
Yeah.
Because I'll be kicking myself like if I miss the one that it becomes the morning book at some point.
Yeah, I know.
It was like $20.
That's the one. The one you're getting pressed, to me, I feel like it's probably the right one. But I have the other two. Or the one you're getting slapped. Sorry. But yeah.
Let's see. Thantos saying, yeah, you are I'd say you're a terrible influence, but
Showcase 22.
So Green Lantern has always been one of my favorite DC superheroes, but I never thought that I was going to be considering getting a Showcase 22, but that was also back when I thought that like a $200 book was going to be the most expensive one I ever bought.
Mm-hmm. I remember that.
I was like,
thinking, I can't spend $100 on it. What am I doing?
Let's see. Can only spot tiny defects on 9.6 at the time. Yeah, that's what's frustrating is like there can. I don't know. There could be like some stray hair on whatever magnifying glass some blind dude is deciding to use. I don't know if we just lost his video or lost him entirely.
I turned my camera off for a second.
Gotcha. Right. But like I swear sometimes they're using some sort of magnifying glass and there's a dog hair on it from home and they call it a color breaking spine crease.
It's so weird. I've seen so many books and I cannot find you can't find anything really wrong with them that are 9.6s, and then I've seen so many 9.8s that I can actually see like a couple of minor defects, which they're supposed to be allowed to have, and it's like, it's like you look at them side by side, you're like, how is this one better than that one? Like it's not.
I know it's frustrating. It's one of the. I guess it's what keeps it interesting, though. Like you never really know for sure until it comes back.
I don't know. I gotta have my books out of be getting there any day now. So hopefully
nice.
So, but
that's always a kind of a relief. Actually, I guess I'm not really. I never really feel quite relieved until my books are marked as scheduled for grading.
Oh, see, I don't actually feel relieved until they're back in my possession. Like,
not fully, but it feels like they're going to be safer once they are scheduled for grading because they've been taken out of the box. They've been set wherever the hell they set them. They're not just sitting in their warehouse in the 85, 90, 115 degree Florida wet, humid heat. All right, have a good one, Matt. Thanks for stopping in, man. I appreciate it, and congrats on your selection for promotion. And then there were 3. It says there are 5 watching, but I think one of those is my tablet, and one of them might be you. So, but if there are those extra 2 people,
I just have the pop-up chat open so I could like type in it, but I don't have the stream open in YouTube, so I don't know. But
maybe we've got 2 lurkers.
I don't know if it counts for or
not. Let's see. Get this out of the way. So, unfortunate. unfortunately, so I had to go from using 3M strips to hang my slabs up on the wall to using these little picture hangers. But now my Thor 165 is pulling the nail out of the wall.
Oh,
like it's the only one. I don't understand what is different about that spot on the wall than where every other of these 15 books is nailed in. But it's, I don't know. Anyway, back to the business at hand.
Hey, Turkey Trapster. What's going on?
What's up, Trapster? Thanks for stopping in, man.
All right, so what we got here?
Right? He's been one of the lurkers. It always feels cool to have a lurker when yeah. All right, so we'll start with the Marvel books. So I'm not sure if I want to get this slabbed or not. Like, it's a hot book, but I don't know if it will sustain. But it is Thor 5. It says it's a 9.8 candidate, and I agree with him. There's really nothing wrong with the book. But I don't know if it is going to long term be worth getting graded. So I don't know if I should just hang on to it. My question for
you there: are you gonna turn that book when you get it back, or are you gonna is it just a book you want to have?
It's a book I want to have, but I don't know yet if I care enough about Black Winter to actually keep it, or if I want to try it and just get rid of it.
Yeah,
like I'll be able to make a little bit of profit, probably for quite a while if I decide to sell it. But
well, my thought is if you wanted to if you send it in and then you have the option to just turn it and maximize your value if you want. But yeah, I don't know what kind of legs Black Winter is going to have. But if it's like anything else H touches, people are just lose their minds over it. So
that's true. I should probably check what it's currently going for. Unruly says to take my time if I'm not going to flip it.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing is, Unruly is right. If you're planning on just keeping it, then there's no rush to send it in this batch.
Yeah.
So if you're flipping it, you need to send it. But if you're like no, it's a book I want, and if it goes, it goes, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. Then yeah, I wouldn't worry about it yet.
That's probably what I will end up doing. It's going for $180 right now. Seriously?
Probably, yeah. Let's see, sold.
It's come down from there, though. That's just the Go Collect, quote unquote, fair market value, or something.
Let's see. Last couple of sales: 137, 132.
See, I'll probably
150.
I'll probably hold off on it. Like, if it ends
155. Lots of 150.
If it ends up sustaining for the next, I don't know, if it shows up on your 6 months later video again, then maybe I'll send it into slab.
Yeah, it's been creeping down over the last week plus. Because it was.
It's been out for what, a month and a half, 6 weeks-ish?
Yeah. So early, on the 6th of the month, so a week ago, it was going for 160 to 180, and this week it's creeped down to 150, and then the last couple of sales have been in the 130s. So,
and people have really short attention spans with this stuff.
Yeah. So
it's like Doug from Up.
Freaking third print's going for 90 in a 9.8. How do people already have that in a 9.8? They sent that in they spent big money. Well, they're for 110. Good grief.
I'm trying to remember.
It's only been out for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it just came out
the second. It came out on the 2nd.
Yeah.
Maybe these are these are not pre-sales. That's a picture of the actual book in a slab. So they paid for the Super Express to get that done on a book that's going to sell for $100. That can't not be worth it.
It's got to be a quantity thing. It's probably like someone who bought a whole bunch.
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've enjoyed. Venom has been fantastic. Unruly. I agree. Wait. Sorry. Hold on. Semi. What?
Oh,
sizzling. That's sorry.
About,
going back here. Sizzling semi.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I got distracted. I really enjoyed the Thor stuff too. So the Thor 5 third print. That's the one where it is the Black Winter in the shape of Thor, essentially, on the cover. Okay, I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to have a few copies of that from my shop.
I just picked that up for the heck of it because I seen it. Like my shop still had it. I was like, all right, what the heck? Because I figured people pay stupid prices for it. So I thought I'd sit on it for a while, see what happens.
Sounds like you thought right. Let's see. Oh yeah.
Why don't you sell it for that much? Like the funny thing is, like there's 9/8 going for something, but last I looked, it was barely going for like double cover. It was like barely going for the actual book. So
I've also got a couple copies of Thor 4 second print because I grabbed 3 since they give you I do my best to use the final order cutoff for ordering more than one copy. I was able to get 3 copies of that and Thor 4 second print because I figured the same, that people were gonna be crapping themselves trying to get a hold of it after the fact.
If people are paying $90, $100 for a 9/8 of it, but you can buy it, a brand new book just released, for under $10. Well, not when you can include shipping, but yeah, it's going for like 5 to 10 plus shipping. It's like, okay. My thought, I stand by my original thought on that is, if you're just keeping it, there's no rush. You send it whenever you think you have room. So
yeah, I already put it. I actually just put it in a top loader to put into my Marvel drawer.
There you go.
So I'm probably gonna hold off on that. All right, let's see. What was I doing? Okay. Next up, we've got Strange Academy #1, J. Scott Campbell variant.
Man, that's a great book. I didn't even think about it.
I picked it up on a whim. There were like 30 of these left on the shelf when I walked in a week after it released, and I was like, I'm not going to get this. It seems stupid. And one of my buddies convinced me, yeah, you should try it. It's an interesting read. And so I did, and I'm glad I did. Continually unable to buy second prints and beyond. Just cannot do it. Yeah, I can understand that. I was of the same mindset. I still am, for the most part, of the same mindset. There are certain books, though, like one of the moderns I unboxed recently, the Venom First Host 3 second print. That's the money book for Sleeper's first appearance, and even the #5 second print is a money book because it's the second cover appearance. But so essentially, what I realized is that the symbiotes, for like 15-ish, maybe 20 years. Wait, I don't know. Whenever ASM 569 came out, ever since then, the symbiote second printings, if they are on the cover of that follow-on printing, that is the money book.
Yeah.
ASM 569 for Anti-Venom.
If there's a first appearance, and then the character doesn't appear on the cover of the original, but appears on the cover of a second or third printing, that's going to be the money book.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at Kamala Khan. It's only a cameo, but she appears on the second print on the cover more so than she does even in the book, and that's the book. It's just like, so yeah. I mean, I get it. Like, I get where Unruly Stance is. Honestly, if my shop didn't have them, I wouldn't have probably grabbed it. But I was like, all right, we'll see what happens. I figured I'd store it for a little while, see what happens. If it takes off, then I'll sell it. And if it doesn't, I won't. So I got $4 invested in it. So I wouldn't be worried. So
yeah, exactly. That's another reason to do final order cutoff too. Is a lot of shops will give you the 10 or 15% discount that they can.
Well, yeah, and typically I have plus my 15% discount I get for everything I buy from them. So
yeah. All right, and so there's a fingerprint on like the right around here on the back.
Oh, all right.
But it's pretty faint. Like you can't see the individual rings or whatever of the fingerprint. You can just kind of see that there was a finger there at some point. So I don't know. It might
wouldn't come off, huh?
No, I might reconsider and not send it, but I think I'm still going to send it in. Like I had to put the light at just the right angle and squint in order to be able to find it. So they might be having a difficult day. They might be missing their glasses or something, and decide to give it a 9.8 anyway. Plus, that's the whole Strange Academy thing seems to keep going up.
Yeah. I was going to say, I don't know if you're planning to flip that or keep that, but that book is like going crazy too. So
I haven't decided yet. I'll probably end up flipping it. I'm not currently invested in any of the characters, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I changed my mind. I'm more likely to decide that I don't want to sell something than to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's Cap 354, and that would not be to sell. I already sold my second copy of that. But I'm not really concerned with it being a 9.8, even though it's not a money book. It is one of the Cap first appearances. That's the other character that I've been working on getting the first appearances of every person who has been Captain America. And I believe the only one left for me on that is Steve Rogers. Whether you consider it to be Avengers 4, where he comes back in the Silver Age, or Cap 1, obviously. But Cap 1 is definitely, I don't know, maybe like a decade or two down the road, if ever. And then Avengers 4 is probably a year or two down the road, if I had to guess. I'll probably try and find that in a 4.0, just so I have an Avengers 4 and a 4. Just like if I ever decide to get an FF4, it's definitely going to be a 4, because how can you not get a Fantastic 4, 4, and a 4?
Never really thought about that, but that is perfect. Most popular grade. You got to pay twice for a 4 as you do for a 6.
I won't go stupid with it. I mean,
I can just see the market doing something like that, though.
Yeah. So this is the Cap 600 Dynamic Forces variant that came back in 9.2 previously. So this was 3 submissions ago. So I had my presser crack it and press it like, I don't know, it's been at least 5 times, because the ripples just won't seem to go away, and I don't know if I'll be able to show it. It seems like it's more even though through the book now, so that it's not just a random rippling. It's just kind of paper being paper. It was really bad when they sent it back as a 9.2, and it was not like that when I shipped it off, which really pissed me off.
It's the moisture.
Yeah, I think it got like, I don't know, rapidly introduced to the humid environment down there or something, giving them the benefit of the doubt, basically. I don't think anyone spilled their water on it or coffee on it or anything, but
not moisture direct, but just like the super, like left laying under on a porch during a rainstorm or something, where it just stored moisture even though water didn't actually hit it.
Yeah, that's it. That's what. Yeah, it looked like someone left it in a humidity bath or whatever that the pressers do, and never took it out. So now we're getting into some indie books. I've got the Reggie Simmons variant of Gung Ho #7.
Okay. I was like, that looks really familiar, but I couldn't place it.
Yeah, and it's got no spine ticks or anything on it. It was a little bit fresh off the shelf if you will. Yeah. Just like, I mean, all comics nowadays, when they come off the shelf, just because of the quality of paper and everything. Oh, hey, more friends. Got John. What's up, dude? Also, if anybody, Trapster, Unruly, John, if anyone wants to jump in, I know at least one of you guys has the link already, but if you want to jump in, go for it, or let me know and I'll send you the link on DM. I don't know how much longer we'll be here. It all depends. I've got that much whiskey left. I've got several books left, and JP has, what, 2.5 hours still that he has to stay up? 3.5 hours. Ugh.
It's 8:30 here, and I'm on Robert the Comic G-Spot show at midnight Central. I'm never going. Hey, Kachung.
What's up, Kachung? How's it going, man? And Delvia.
Oh, John. Eating that work, John.
Yeah, so this is Reggie's book. He was offering guaranteed 9.8 books and signed 9.8 books, which that was one of the only signature books I've ever considered buying.
Yeah.
But at the time I couldn't do it, and I think he's out now anyway. Yeah. So wasn't gonna happen. John, you got here just in time. If you're gonna stick around for a few minutes, we've got the Canto number 1.
Oh, very cool.
The New York Comic Con exclusive edition variant. I think I'm going to take this off because I think it's a really cool looking cover. So I had 2. The other copy had a really big spine tick essentially on the back. It was right about here, and it knocked down to like an 8.0, give or take. So that's not even worth sending in. I might just send it off to somebody or try and sell it as is, or I don't know what.
No.
But this one looks really good. Looks like it's a 9.8 to me and to him. From there, we have got, I already forgot what this one was. Oh, yeah. Duh. Got Missing Pieces number 1. 9.8 candidate as well. I don't really care what it comes back as. I just want to have it slabbed.
Now, TJ gotten his slab yet? Because you'll be in trouble if we come on you down.
That's a good question. I don't know. John, I'll hit you up. I just can.
Oh, on the beat up one?
Yeah. What's up, Mastodon? Yeah, man. We'll figure something out for sure. I'd rather get it to you than some rando on eBay anyway.
There you go. Definitely.
I've got the other. I can't remember if I think it's 4 issues. I don't know why I'm guessing. I've got it right here. 3 issues. 3 issues of Missing Pieces. So I've got the other 2 in the drawer.
There you go. John says TJ is preparing a CGC to miss it. So he assumes Missing Pieces will be in there. So there you go. So then you won't necessarily be in trouble then. You can't show it till he shows his.
I think Unruly's talking about his copy of Missing Pieces 1 as well.
I'll be honest, awesome. I considered it the last time, but I figured I'd be in trouble just because I know Flad would like drive Alec nuts.
What did I say? I don't remember how he found out that I was planning on slabbing it anymore, but he sent me a message on Instagram. He was like, are you really gonna get Missing Pieces graded? And I was like, yeah, well, of course. Why wouldn't I? And so, but then I had to make sure that I got like all the publisher information right and stuff. And it turns out it's just all White Whale Comics.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. So Mastodon, I'm drinking Four Roses single barrel tonight. I love Four Roses. They've got pretty much all their stuff is good. If you're ever able to get the what's it called? It's a gold label. It's a single barrel private selection. That's it. Where like if you go to their distillery itself, then it's their master distiller who picks the barrel and creates that they will end up bottling. Or you can, like if you get a bunch of friends together, you can pick the barrel, or different liquor stores will send their buyer to go and select a barrel to get bottled all for themselves, and it's fantastic.
Nice.
And it's relatively cheap. Like, I mean, bourbon is usually relatively cheap for the most part, but this is like $35 for a single barrel. Not bad. Maybe it was 45, but still. So we already highlighted that. Yes, he was talking about missing pieces. Oh man, that would be. We'll see if he watches the replay. He said he's not going to be able to make it tonight since he's still at work, but. Ooh.
Unfortunately, I think DGC is out of business.
Yeah, he went out of business. I'm bummed I never got anything DGC'd. That would have been there. I can't remember what they were anymore, but there were a handful of books that I think would have been really cool with one of those custom labels that that he made.
Very happy that I have 2 of them. So
if he ever comes back, I might just have to get missing pieces cracked and reslabbed via DGC. If I remember. All right, so last indie book, and this one is this is my 3rd copy of Canto #1. The other 2 came back 9.8. And for those that don't know, the first print run of Canto #1, I think it was like 2/3 of the print run got damaged. This was one of them. One of my 9.8s was one of them as well. But like, I don't know, man. I can't. This was in rough shape. Yeah. It was in rough shape. Like you could see the crease all the way down, or the parallel creases all the way down, like here. I cannot find them.
Very cool. Awesome. That'd be awesome to get a 3rd one.
Oh wait, there it is. Damn, you gotta look hard. It's not even a color break though. That is. Whew.
Yeah, I got.
D'Angelo crushes it. In a good way though, not in a crushes the book way.
Crushes it as in he smashes her flat.
But yeah, so I'm holding on to one of them for sure. I'm going to sell the other 2, but I'm still waiting because every few weeks it seems like it bumps up another like $100 on Go Collect. So I'm gonna see if I can't wait it out until they hit $1,000 and then sell off 2 of them and put it towards I don't know what book yet, but one of the ones on my big boy list.
Yeah.
Everybody sign a petition to get DGC back in business. Arctic White Pages. That's awesome. Created, what is that? Infinity. That's that's fantastic. Oh. Alrighty, now as excited as I am to have another copy of Canto 1 to send off and hopefully get a 9.8, I'm not as confident in that one as the others. The spine just looks a little, I guess, loose to me, if that makes sense. But as excited as I am about potentially having another one of those to flip in that case, I am. Hey. What is up, Professor John?
Is he there?
Can you hear us? It shows him. He popped in. I don't know what's going on though.
I was just saying, like he bumped me up, like there he is.
Yeah. Hey, there he is.
What, is he still at school? Or is he in like girls' room or something?
All right, did that work? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm down the hall. My girls are whenever they're watching a movie, I abandon the living room and I go down the hall. So I'm in the Lego
room. Nice.
The Lego. Ooh, that sounds awesome.
This is when we do our home remodel, this might become something of a man cave for me. We'll see.
That's
so if you want, I mean, it's not a very interesting room tour. You got a ton of Legos.
Wait, hold on. Let me do this and this. There we go.
So a ton of little Legos there. My girl's art supplies. You can see some projects. A map of the U.S. my students made, which is why it's a little wonky. More Legos over here.
A lot of Legos.
More Legos over here. So this is the Lego room currently. My wife uses it for projects and things. We all use. It's a creative room.
Okay.
So, yeah. But after the remodel, I might get a corner in here somewhere.
Get your comic book space.
Yeah, exactly. I am a big Kanto fan. That's why I had to. I saw some of those indies. I had to jump in when I saw all those because I sent to get pressed and cleaned a bunch of indies. So
nice.
Yeah.
When are you sending off? When are you submitting? Do you know yet?
It's all dependent on my presser. He was really backlogged during COVID. A bunch of people sent him stuff, so he was nice enough to let me just send him stuff, and he's like, "I will work on it like all the way along." So he posted pictures of Savage She-Hulk, Nova 1.
Those are yours. Okay.
Yeah, Nova 1. He's cracking slabs that Alex sent me for New Mutants 98 and 87.
Oh, nice.
But he's worried because he's like, they're kind of faded. The color is kind of faded on these. He's like, I don't know if you're going to get much of a grade bump at all. So I'm going to run the risk anyways and at least get them in newer cases.
You said New Mutants 87 was one of them?
87 and 98, yeah.
Because 87, it seems like there were two different printers or something. One of them was a much sharper orange, and the other was much paler
or something.
Yeah, well, it was. I don't know.
He already cracked and cleaned and pressed the 98, and he's like, I'm surprised it got a 9.4. He's like, you'll be lucky to get the 9.4 again.
No, that's no good.
So I was like, well, we'll take a look at it. He's like, it's got one big spine tick, and he's like, that's gonna really take a hit. So we'll see. I was like, I just want it in a nicer case. It's in the flimsy case, and if we can test drive a grade bump, it'd be kind of entertaining.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I mean, so my the Batman 567 that I got back, the newsstand one that I got back a couple of weeks ago, that had a spine tick that was like half an inch almost long, and it still came back at 9.6.
Yeah, I mean, Alec owned these for a long time, and then he's like, you know what, I'm really getting away from these characters that I don't like. Do you want some of these New Mutants books? So he sold me New Mutants 1, 87, and 98. Knowing that I really wanted the 87, he's like, let's come up with a deal for all of them. And he's like, they've never been pressed and cleaned, so you might get a grade bump on any of them that you want to submit. So
that'd be awesome.
Yeah. So it'll be an entertaining unboxing, if nothing else.
Yeah.
There you go.
Kachung. Sorry, real quick, Kachung, you are correct. As Unruly said, it was. I really think it was like 2/3 of the print run of Kanto 1 had that printer crease. Or I don't even know if it was.
It's the cover A, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which mine's getting pressed and cleaned from my cover A for sure.
Ooh. Yeah, it's I don't know if they just have started counting it as a manufacturing defect or what, but like one of my copies that came back at 9.8 definitely had them, and I was able to sort of find where they were on the edge of the spine. Like, you couldn't see it on the front of the cover, but if you look close enough, you can still. And this one is pretty much the same, but you can still see that dot right above my thumbnail, and that dot right above my thumbnail are the start of that crease.
9/8s are allowed flaws. They're just they have to be small, and they can't. Yeah, so that should still be a 9/8 with that. If that's all that's wrong with it, then you should be good.
Yeah, I think mine's in that same range. I don't remember seeing the same defect, but mine didn't look pristine. So I'm curious to see what the presser thinks. So I just wanted some of those copies, and I know if it's nice enough to be high grade, I'll just give it a shot.
This one looked really bad originally. Like I guess what I'm trying to say is I would not be surprised if he is able to get yours to that high grade. Like one, I've seen his work on Instagram, and yeah, 9.8s have been selling for 600 to 1,000. There was a single $1,000 sale of a 9.8 like a month ago, and I hope it just keeps going up like that.
Yeah, Donnie, right now, the only ones I'm really hunting for are the Sienkiewicz issues. I'm kind of enjoying some of his early Magic, in the New Mutant stuff.
Like the Demon Bear stuff.
Yeah. I've been enjoying. I got most of the keys, but I'm just kind of enjoying his covers and the art and that portion. I really am enjoying.
Did you get issue 27, First Legion?
Yes, I got a copy. That was the first one, I think, in that run that I bought, and it was right before the show came out because I heard about it and I kind of liked what I was hearing. So I bought it just before, and then I loved the show so much. I was like, I'm so glad I got this.
Yeah, that show was definitely interesting to say the least. It was weird, but it was fun.
It reminded me a little of the Hannibal Lecter show that was on too. Just really odd, but like gorgeous to look at, but super creepy and weird.
So is that the run you're working on now, John? Now you completed your X-Men run? Is that?
Not at anything specific. I've actually stopped buying on eBay for the last month. I've bought nothing. I haven't bought hardly anything from the community except I got a little drunk, I got a little sentimental, and somebody was selling one of those TMNT Last Ronin ash cans. And so I did buy one of them, but he gave me an amazing deal. In fact, they're going for $50, and I think he gave me 25 shipped.
Oh, wow.
But I was like, I was thinking about Edwin, and I was just like, I want this book, and I just did something stupid, but
yeah.
We'll see.
$25 is not that stupid.
Yeah, but I've been really good because I know I got to pay for the pressing and cleaning and the CGC, and everything financially going on around here. It's just like I can't be doing anything too stupid at this point.
I'm basically on lockdown for a while, so.
Yeah.
Looks like Donnie might want to help you fill some of those holes in the run.
Thanks a bunch, buddy. Much appreciated.
I was going to say I think I have an extra copy of 27, but if you already got it, then
it's a cool book, man. I've been getting I got the key. I think there's 2 or 3 key books for Magic that I snagged. Like when she first goes by the name Magic, and when she first joins the team, things like that I got. But that's pretty much it. Most of the keys, but not a lot. I don't think I have Demon Bear. I think I'm missing that. Maybe that one.
Yeah.
But some of those I was just like, I'm gonna wait till this movie's gone out of people's memories, and then I can get them for a normal price again.
I would be surprised if that doesn't happen in like a week. From what I've been hearing.
I was gonna say the movie. Yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't sound like a movie. Well, nobody's going to the movie theater.
I'm definitely gonna watch it, but yeah, I'm not going to the theater.
That's me. I'll watch it when it comes out, but like where I can get it from home. But I'm not going to go to the theater for it.
It's just a shame for me. It's a shame that the Fox mutant universe kind of went out with a whimper and not a bang. Because I will say I legitimately like half of the movies they made, and it's a shame that they're going to be remembered maybe for the whimper.
Yeah, I sort of wish like everything had happened a little quicker. That like Logan or Deadpool had been the end, and then, like we hadn't got Phoenix and I've heard like some people actually really like New Mutants, but mostly
I hear Magic. I hear Magic is great.
Yeah, the Magic's the best part of it, is what I have heard. But which is no surprise. Like that's the character of that group to a certain degree. So
I never really got into since I started reading comics. I haven't gotten into any of the New Mutants really, besides like Deadpool and Cable, but that's not really the same. It's just I just happened to have showed up in the run for the first time. Hi, Cat, and other Cat. Well, no, it's the tail.
She wants attention, and then I pick her up, and then she doesn't want attention. So, which is And then in a minute, she'll come back across the desk and try to walk across my computer. So I'll figure it out. Yeah.
Let's see. Unruly Dark Phoenix.
I did not.
I'll say I haven't seen it. I heard enough bad things. I was like, yeah, no.
I watched it on I watched it on my TV recently because HBO had it, and I was like, I need to have seen it. I didn't like Apocalypse either.
No,
I'm a big Days of Future Past fan, the books, and I surprised how much I like that movie. I really do enjoy Days of Future Past.
Mm-hmm. I liked First Class.
First Class was pretty good, but the last two were not good.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that I watched Dark Phoenix also on HBO Max, but now I honestly can't remember.
Then you probably watched it.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Probably. I think I did.
Screw that.
I know I know I added it to my watch list. That much I know for sure. I don't know.
You know what? That's the thing that kills me is that's one of the classic X-Men stories, and they screwed it up twice.
Oh, yeah,
that's my guy, Kachung and I. Yeah, Madeline Pryor's awesome. The Goblin Queen, she's cool.
And didn't she just come back, like in what is it, Hellions or whatever?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, I guess we've derailed you from your books. Where else?
Sorry.
So now the rest are all Star Wars books. Oh yeah, I need to.
You have to put yourself back in the main spot.
I hope someone got a screenshot of that.
If not, we will.
Yeah, I can just go back and yeah. So this is Star Wars Tales 23. It's the first cameo of Revan and Malik, who Malik I don't know as much about, but Revan is basically the origin of the current Sith. People say that it's Bane, but even in the book about Darth Bane, in the trilogy, he goes and learns from Darth Revan's holocron about what it means to be a Sith and the fact that they have strength in fewer numbers versus the Jedi who have strength in greater numbers. And basically Revan, I believe he's the main character in the Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic video game. I haven't played that yet, but I'm thinking about getting it, just downloading it from my Xbox and playing through because it seems like an interesting story. Anyway, Revan basically, he's a Jedi, falls to the dark side, but then at some point he loses his memory, is rescued by the Jedi, and is retrained by the Jedi to be a force for good again. And then he and Malik end up facing off and I believe killing each other in the end. So I'm looking forward to reading more about Revan, but I've gotten really into the mythos surrounding Revan. I've gone into it hard lately. But so this is just a cameo. They literally each appear in one panel so these are all anthology books. Basically, there's like 3 or 4 stories in each of the Star Wars Tales books. And in the story about Wedge Antilles, he shows up in Star Wars Rebels, actually, the animated series. John. I'm going to keep trying to convince you to watch some of the animated stuff, not all of it, but we'll get into that later.
I had so many people sending me messages about the Clone Wars.
A list I'd found on which episodes to watch of Clone Wars and which ones to skip. And I sent him that this morning.
I could legitimately do a Perry reaction series.
I will say, for my money, just because we're talking about him, Rebels is the way more consistent show, consistently good. But the highs of Clone Wars are higher. When it's at its best, it's better. But when it's not at its best, it's better. It's also but some of that was most of the really bad stuff is in seasons 1 and 2, and I think it took Dave and that whole crew a while to figure out what they were doing,
Sure.
to a certain degree.
Have a good one, Donnie. Thanks for stopping in, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, and we got time. We can talk about it on here. So I agree. However, I just realized this morning that I had not seen the 4th season of Rebels before.
Oh yeah, last season.
Yeah, and I'm at episode 12 right now of season 4, and like it finally clicked that I had not seen any of this before, and it's really the best season of Rebels in my opinion. Like if you like the lore behind the Force and the Jedi and the Sith and all that, then even if you're not all that into that portion of it, it's kind of mind-blowing, the stuff that it reveals to exist in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah.
And I don't want to spoil it for the 5 people that are in here, but like episode 12 essentially confirmed a theory that I had from season 3 that will affect this coming season of The Mandalorian.
Nice. Yeah, I really wish they had just like turned the whole thing over to Dave at this point. Let's let him do it. Like the movies and everything, and just be like, okay, Dave, you're in charge.
he is brilliant. And so, John, like I was saying earlier,
I don't know live stream,
Dave Filoni.
Okay.
He's the creator of the animated.
Didn't he direct an episode of Mandalorian too, right?
He did.
Yes.
Or a couple.
Yeah.
And he's awesome. I love what he does.
And he is really like George's chosen successor in a lot of ways. Like,
he really kind of is.
Yeah, he basically went when they started making Clone Wars. He went to George, and George basically told him everything, like everything George knew about the world. He passed on to Dave, like the universe,
Gotcha.
like how it works, and everything that he never got, all the stories he never got to tell. Like he has passed all of that to Dave.
But Dave is a better storyteller.
What
are you shaking your head at, John?
Here's the deal. I've ranted about Mandalorian enough. I'm not gonna rise to the bait of all the Mandalorian episodes are great too. I'm not gonna do that.
He's actually talking about the Mandalorian episodes in the Clone Wars. I think he's talking. I could be wrong. I enjoyed
my issues with the Mandalorian I just feel like it was badly written and that it was very cliched and boring and repetitive, and it was the Baby Yoda show. And with Clone Wars, my issue is like I don't want more Anakin. Like I don't want that. Now everybody's telling me it's a better version of Anakin. I just don't know that I want more of it.
And I can get that. Like I get the not wanting more Anakin because Anakin from the prequels annoys the heck out of me.
Yep.
But I will say this: like they do a better job of telling Anakin's story in Clone Wars because they have more time, obviously, to tell it. Like why he gets to where he gets to. Right. They also like do a better job of like if you just watch the movies, you don't understand why Obi-Wan and Anakin would even be friends. And like you understand their relationship a lot better. You see him because he has a Padawan in this. You see him trying to like teach, and his failures, like in a lot of ways, he's a failure all along when it comes to being a Jedi. He's just not very good at being a Jedi. Like he's really good at using the Force. He's not very good at being a Jedi ever during the whole storyline. And I will say a lot of the weakness for me, I do think they still struggle with the Anakin Padme stuff. Like even in Clone Wars, I think that's still not the best. But the best part of Clone Wars for me are the clones, and then the development they give the clones as characters and making them individuals, even though they're all clones. Like, and then Ahsoka going from this annoying little kid which is very similar to the annoying little Anakin we first meet in the prequels, to an actual capable Jedi, and that in many ways is smarter than her master about a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, but she's really learning from, the funny thing is, like, she really has two, because she's learning the whole time from Anakin and Obi-Wan.
And like, she's become one of my favorite Star Wars characters, and he like, I don't know, she's a badass. No other way to put it. She is.
Yeah, this up in Rebels, it's amazing.
Like this morning, when somebody in my chat asked, like, who do you think is the most popular Star Wars character? I said her. I was like, I think it seems to be in the community in general.
I think that's a bit of a moment thing, though, because season 7 just dropped, and it was the last 4 episodes of Clone Wars. It's basically the start of the first episode, the final 4, the arc of Clone Wars is she comes back. She has left the Order at one point. She's not a Jedi. She had left the Order which is a great story arc, her leaving, why she leaves the Order. And she comes back to Anakin, and basically they go in different directions. He goes to Coruscant. So it's all, her storyline is all of it's happening during Revenge of the Sith. What's happening to her during Revenge of the Sith. So it takes us through Order 66 and the aftermath for her. And I think, and it was so well done. It's as good a wrap up to any show as I can remember. That's part of why she's so popular at the moment. And that just happened this spring.
Yeah. So, not only did it just happen this spring, but people have been waiting for like 3 years for this mythical season 7, because it had gotten canceled with 1 season left to go. And then when Disney Plus got announced, then Dave Filoni announced, hey, we're making this happen. Season 7 is coming. And then like the first 3 or 4 episodes were pretty good, but the last 4, the last story arc, is like full on movie quality in every way.
Yeah.
Like the animation is insane. The storytelling is great. And it's Ahsoka versus Maul the whole time, pretty much. Plus Ahsoka versus Order 66.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's the whole thing is just so well done. It's really amazing. Plus, like, they use Mandalore in the, like, you haven't, like, if you've only watched the movies and The Mandalorian, you do not understand Mandalore at all. Like, Mandalore in Clone Wars is that whole storyline that goes for the whole 7 seasons. Like, Mandalore plays an important role, and like, it's just a really well done. What happens to that planet and those people, where they are at the start of the Clone Wars, where they end up, is a really, really cool story. Which is why, like, people still love Boba Fett, and he is literally the worst Mandalorian.
He's not even a Mandalorian.
And he's not even a Mandalorian because Jango stole the armor. They're not actually Mandalorian. Yeah.
So I'm actually going to use that as a segue, sort of, because it's the wrong series, but Kanala Last Padawan number 6. I have not been able to find a high-grade copy of number 1 lately. I had ordered a copy, but USPS damaged it, and so I sent it back for a refund, which was nice of them to refund me instead of making me go through USPS to deal with it. But I've got number 6, which is their first appearance, even though they're on like 4 different pages in issue 1, but this is their first cover, I guess. But Sabine Wren,
it's CGC right now, so.
Oh, nice. Let's see. Zeb, Ezra Bridger, Kanan / Caleb Doom, and then Hera Syndulla. The other Star Wars books that I'm trying to get right now are probably going to be Heir to the Empire number 1, but I'm probably going to wait for that to cool back off because I think it'll come down for a little bit. And then I want to try and get Jedi versus Sith #1 because that's Bane's first appearance in comics. And even though I prefer Revan, after reading the Bane trilogy, he's pretty cool. Pretty interesting story behind him. Also, if you guys have anything you want to show off, even if you're not submitting it, then feel free.
Well, all of my stuff like that,
quick.
my copy of that, which I don't think will be a 9.8. I think my DS thinks my copy of #1 is going to be a 9.8. He thinks that's 9.4, 9.6. Unfortunately, which I knew that one wasn't perfect, but I sent it anyway. But all of my stuff arrived at CGC yesterday, so it hasn't checked in yet. But USPS says it's delivered. So,
oh, nice.
I think like John, if you want, like, not that you'd completely understand, but if you'd rather do this instead of watch the show to get a feel for the character, this is after. I just read this, like this book. This is after. So this is after Order 66. So it comes between the Clone Wars show and the Rebels show, where she appears in both of them. And this was good. I really enjoyed it. I mean, it's a light. It's not like, you know, epic storytelling, but it's good. I really enjoyed it. I just read it recently. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of in a place where I'm like, I want to try some of the comics that I can get for a reasonable price. So I'm like, I finished the half of the Soul run, and I'm going to try the Kieran Gillen Darth Vader run that everybody says is the best comic book version of Star Wars. I mean, I looked on a bunch of lists online, and it was like Kieran Gillen's Darth Vader is like #1 on like almost every list, or #2 or whatever.
Charles Soule's Darth Vader, I really, really enjoyed. It doesn't come. I think the Kieran Gillen run is way better.
That's what I hear. So that's what I'm going to probably be reading this weekend. I'm going to dive into that one.
Which volume is not like story arc volume, but which volume is the Gillen run?
I think Gillen is volume 1, right? And then Soul is volume 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they did
chronologically they're backwards, because Soul goes right after Revenge of the Sith, and Gillen's run goes later, like around Empire and Return of the Jedi somewhere.
Maybe that's why I didn't like the Soul books that I read.
I think Gillen's run is between Star Wars and Empire. Soul's run is after Revenge of the Sith, and then the new run that just starts after Empire.
Okay.
I believe that
volume is that volume 3 then?
Well, they did that Target Vader thing in between, and then it'd be volume 3.
I heard that was pretty good.
Vader
was really good.
First couple of issues, and it has been good so far.
Nice. And then Afra's first appearance is volume 2.
No, volume
3. Volume 1, number 3.
Yeah, the Gillen run is when she made
it's in the Gillen run. That's what I hear.
Okay. Her timeline is at the same timeline as the original trilogy.
Okay. Interesting.
I mean, most of the stuff that is like newer that I want to get slabbed to the stuff that's going to be like a higher grade I sent, except for some books that I got more recently.
Nice.
It's probable that some of these I'll send in a later round of like indies.
Is that a Middle West variant?
This is the last Middle West. Yeah, the Scotty Young variant. And this is the Philadelphia #1. Nice. So some of those I'll send for that. Eventually I'm saving up for like an older run, and I've got like my early Avengers. I got a ton of early Avengers before issue 25, basically.
Wow.
That I should. Yeah, it's I mean, it's not really, they're not like super high grade. So 6, 7, 8.
Okay, nice.
9. Sorry. 10. This is 12 now. 12 because I already have 11 slabbed. 14 because I'm missing 13. There's 12. Sorry. Yeah. There's 19.
Good thing TJ's not in here.
20. Yeah, he's gonna be mad that these aren't slabbed yet. And 25.
No, I mean because he'll start filling the run.
He knows what I've got in this run. Sadly. So those are like eventually, and then of course my giant size X-Men. TJ's gonna get really mad if I don't eventually slab that.
Dude, that one is going back up.
It
fast.
is a ton. But I know the cost of pressing, cleaning, and slabbing that book is so steep that I'm just not ready to do it yet.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then of course I got these from you that eventually I'll probably have to send off.
Oh yeah. Nice.
So those are still sitting in the, do I want to slab these in this round or later rounds? I have a few like high-ish Moon Knight books.
That's an awesome cover.
But I sent the nicest ones off to get pressed clean first. So if those, depending on how those look, I might decide what to do with this. But that's, my slabbing box is much emptier these days.
Well, that's good. That means progress.
I sent like 25 books to get cleaned. So
yeah, I think
my presser is really nice about letting me know, like, this is probably not your best bet. You should think about these. These are the ones that'll score about this range and whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Usually, like I had been for the last year or two, just bringing, because I see my presser every week. He's at the local comic shop every week when I go there.
Nice.
And so I had been just bringing him like 3 or 4 books a week. It would take a week to get him back, and then it would take me like 2 months to get him all the books that I was going to eventually send off. And pretty rarely, but every once in a while, it just ended up leaving me with more time to damage the books after they've been pressed. So this time I just gave him like 28, 29 books and got him to press them all at once. And then now I'm already down below the full 25 book submission that I picked the other books out. Like there was Canto and the Clockwork Fairies. I got a couple of copies, but it doesn't make sense to slab them right now.
Right.
I've got that variant of Canto 2 as well, and I'm not sure if I'm going to slab that yet or not. I'm not sending it in this submission. I might send it in a future one as well.
Right.
I feel like that's going to go up, and it'll make more sense to pay the money to get it slabbed.
And I'm trying to make sure that like half the books I end up sending in are going to be things I want to sell, and half are for me, so that I can kind of space that out a little bit.
That's what I did. Yeah, I have.
So I'm gonna take that 25 and I'm gonna pare it down to like 10 to 12, with half for me and half for sale.
Nice. Yeah, that's the way to do it. I still struggle finding books that I want to sell.
Well, yeah, I mean, honestly, I've only sold 2 slabs from that first. I sent 12 books in the first time, and I've only sold 2 of those.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess I sold my lower grade, my 9.4 of Thor 390, along with a couple of raw books that a dude wanted on Facebook. Met him at the Home Depot nearby and exchanged books.
Nice.
But I've still got, so I've got the copy of Canto 1 that I'm going to sell. I've got the other copy of Thor God of Thunder 2. I've got like 8 or 9 books that I was like, okay, I'm going to send these in to get graded, and then I'm going to sell them. But then COVID hit, and it delayed all the movies that were going to bump up the prices. Like I've got Avenging Spider-Man 9 that I was going to sell, Thor 1 and Thor 8 copies that I was going to sell.
Yeah, I have books like that, like Avenging Spider-Man 9 or Thor first Beta Ray Bill, that I'm kind of just waiting for a new like burst of interest before I try to sell them.
Yeah, I've got that one too. Unfortunately, it has a really, really big crease on the back that I did not notice, because it's a white back cover, and so it doesn't break color. It's just there.
Right.
But it knocked it down quite a bit, so that went down the crapper. That's a good book though. Like,
yeah, I mean,
any grade.
TJ's gonna get really mad at me for selling that one because he loves Beta Ray Bill, and he's like, everybody needs it, and it's in a 9.6. You gotta, so it's a 9.6 newsstand, and I'm just like, he doesn't mean anything to me. And if it helps me get, a giant size X-Men slabbed, or it helps me get a Daredevil 1 that I always wanted, then it's totally worth it.
Yeah.
You just have to have priority. Like, I don't want to sell any of the books, but sometimes it's kind of like, do I want these books or do I want that book? Well, these are going to go.
Yeah, I've been
tilting it down because there's Kate right there sneaking through.
Kate was trying to sneak in and out.
She was trying to.
Don't step on any Legos; they hurt.
Look, it's Uncle JP.
JP, I'm taxi driver. Hello.
Hey, Kate.
Hey.
Don't step on any Legos; they hurt.
Yeah.
Thankfully, they're good about keeping the Legos to the periphery.
That's good.
So far.
Oh, there you go.
Sorry, I didn't mean to derail you there. This
No,
has
no,
gone
you're
on
fine.
an hour and a half.
The whole time. It's fine.
So that's my I don't have a ton to I don't have a ton to slab right now. They're all off being taken care of.
Nice. This might give TJ some time to jump in since it's after 10 now. Well after 10. Damn.
Well after 10. I was gonna say we keep going. We need to keep going for 2.5 more hours.
I mean, I've got 3 more books, but then I can keep talking for a while.
An hour anyway.
Alrighty, so I was talking about Revan and Malik. Even though this says Malik Unleashed on the cover, this is the first appearance of Revan in his fairly well-known gold and red armor. Okay. So this looks like it's a 9.8 candidate. I was going back and forth with the seller for a while. Like he had it listed on Mercari and on eBay. I didn't know at first that he had it on both. I saw him on Mercari, made him an offer. What did he say? I have not. So, Trapster, I have not sent it off to get graded. I don't know that it's probably like, I think it's like a 7. I know, give me 1 second. I know exactly where it is. I'm pretty sure. And then I can get back to those. I
think I got a bunch of indies getting pressed right now, like a couple of like Oblivion Song, Farmhand, a bunch of like books that are like maybe these are spec books, and one of them pops as a new show, and I can sell it kind of books too.
Yeah.
So there's a few indie number ones I'm getting. I got one of those awesome pink Oblivion Song signature variants. I was
nice.
like,
there you go.
That's a good one.
So if that comes back 9.8, I'm going to be super pumped.
I'm sorry, Trapster, I was wrong. I don't know exactly where it is. I've moved my 2 slab books around. It's not graded. It's raw still. But yeah, so this book, I found it on Mercari first, made him an offer. He said, I've already got an offer at X price. It's like, okay, then why didn't you take it? Because it was a higher price than I had offered. Clearly, either it fell through or he was lying, because I found the same dude on eBay asking the same price, and I offered the same price, and he ended up taking it. So,
which I think eBay had higher fees, so he lost money than Mercari.
I don't know. I think that Mercari has like 15%.
Oh, well,
it was something.
I thought Mercari was. I've never sold on Mercari, but I thought they were lower fees than.
I might be wrong. I'm not sure. Trapster, I think that we follow each other on Instagram. I'll send you a DM once I find it, and I can send you pictures and stuff. But yeah, I think it's higher. I think I'm not 100% sure. And then this actually looks way better than I expected it to. This is the first appearance of Revan. When I bought this from one of the employees at my local comic shop, and when I did so, a 9.8 was going for like $500. This looked like it was a 9.4-ish. Well, the last 9.8 sale was $2,200, like a week ago.
Holy cow!
A 9.2 sold for I think $290 the other day.
Wow.
So I got this for $80, so I'm going to send him some more money if it comes back in a higher grade, because he's a friend and I'd feel like a real dick.
Oh, come on. He sold it. He's happy he got the money. He's already good.
He sold it at the time. If it was a fair deal at the time, nobody knows what it's getting. They're all going to go up eventually.
Well, I thought it was going to be a lower grade than that, and it looks like after it's been pressed, it looks like it's going to be a 9.6.
Okay.
I don't know. He might forget, but I'll probably send him at least a few extra books. So this one, so his guess is a 9.4. See if I can get this angle.
Quarter
This is
color
really
break increase.
9.4 quarter-inch color break increase.
Focus. There you go. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I see it.
That would still get a 9.4? Oh.
So I'm honestly looking at it like just the book itself. The Mylar, or the Mylite rather, I think magnifies the break.
Yeah.
Like it does not break color all the way across. There's definitely a crease all the way across, but it doesn't break color all the way across.
Just on the lower side, it looked like.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see. I'll be perfectly happy. What was that, JP?
Well, I didn't buy that book last fall. I had an opportunity, and I was like, a little more than what I'm right now. It was like $50. I was like,
oh God, $50.
It's always the ones that got away, right?
I know. But yeah, so we'll see on this one.
Sorry, no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I'm not going to set my expectations any higher, but I could absolutely see them missing like some based on other 9.8s I've seen that could get a 9.8 feasibly, not intentionally. Like they'd have to miss something. They'd have to miss that, but
yeah, I don't think they'll. I don't know. I'd be surprised if they missed it, but
me too. Like I said, I'm not expecting it to be a 9.8, but it could happen. I've seen more ridiculous things like Los's Sig.
Oh man,
I don't know if you saw his rant or not. So that's all the books that I am definitely sending.
Nice.
So
how many is that? How many books are you sending?
That's actually a good question. It's less than 25. I know that.
I usually try to do like 10, but at a time. But that's what I've done the last 2 times. Is I've done 10 at a time. But
I was gonna say I'm still kicking myself about Thanatos when he sold his copy of Middle West #1, the Scotty Young variant. I was like, I should just buy this, and I didn't. And now that book's like stupid expensive too. So I was like,
really?
Maybe I'll wait till the conversation dies way down and see if I can snag one for a good price. Because I feel like that's a good book to get. That's for me, at least for my love of that story.
Sorry, you guys can keep talking. I'm just counting.
I
thought maybe I was on mute. It wouldn't be the first time.
John accidentally turned the mute button on. It's not tomorrow night, John, and we're not asking you to do something.
I try to keep myself on mute on that show. Otherwise, you're going to hear all kinds of sounds in the background. Yeah, I really love that they finished the Middle West story, and so I kind of want to get a nice set of the run. And really, I still haven't been able to finish reading it because I'm missing 2 issues towards the end. So I'm still hunting those last couple of ones. Hoping to find them for cover price. They're not keys or anything.
Middle, like toward the end of the run, I think you can find for somewhere.
So
like 17. I have 18. I don't have 17, so I got to get 17 and 14. I think is the other one.
There are 15 books. I got this one pressed as well, but it's not a modern, and it doesn't make sense to send off on its own.
Send it in this order, but
eventually, this is exactly what I was hoping it would say. 7.0.
That might be my favorite Kirby cover. It's really high up there, man.
It's amazing. I love it.
It's a beauty. It's everything I love about Kirby as far as motion, heroes looking like heroes, giant fists. It's like all it needs is a couple of good floating heads and you'd be set. Although I do love Avengers 7, I think, where Thor is whipping the hammer around and the Avengers are all there. So cool.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. I can't remember the number either, but I know which one you're talking about for sure.
I think it's 7. I could probably pull it out right now.
Sorry. Just whip it out.
Like the one book there you go.
Love it. Yeah. So this is it's 7. Great color, great. The Avengers. You even have the the villains across the bottom, looking all freaking out. Enchantress and Zemo. I love it.
I think that's the villain I've been most disappointed they haven't used yet for him, is that we didn't get an Enchantress at any point during any of the Thor movies.
Right.
We had 3 already. We're gonna have a 4th one, and it doesn't sound like we're gonna get her in the 4th one either. So
no, I don't think so. Maybe, but it could be a good matchup for a future Jane Foster or something. If they, I really hope they don't try to do all of the Jane Foster story in one movie. I don't know. It seems like a lot.
Yeah, I honestly feel like it would be better if she doesn't pick up the hammer till the end of the movie.
I don't know. I think you kind of got to do that part, but I think it might be great to end with her realizing that it's killing her. That might be an interesting ending, and then you have another film dealing with it and the decision that it's worth it dying for something meaningful.
Yeah,
which could be a great 2-part thing.
I hope they do it at least a 2-part thing. That would be really cool.
And then you have a chance to throw in some interesting characters because they've killed off a lot of his villains at this point. They're going to have to dig out.
Loki, realistically,
Loki's dead. Malekith is dead.
Yeah, the Jason Aaron run is 2 villains. It's Malekith and Gore are the overarching villains of the whole run.
Right.
But
I feel like Dario Agger could be a 1-movie villain.
I think he'd be great in film number 1 with Christian Bale or whomever, and then you could bring in Enchantress in the second story or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
She could be just as devious as Malekith or whatever.
No. I think I'll leave John on the screen. So I did pick up. I guess I picked it. I think I've shown it. Oh, John's
going a little Thor right there. I got a little Ragnarok right there. There's Valkyrie.
I love that movie.
Oh man, it's easy. It's funny because I know a lot of people hate how humorous it is, but for the ladies in my house, it's definitely top 3 Marvel movies for them. They love it, and for me, it's top 10 easy. But it's one of their. It might even be Charlie's favorite. She just freaking loves that movie.
Yeah. I think
Cork's my favorite character from that movie.
Went maybe they're a little too much, but for the most part, I enjoyed the tone. I enjoyed the fact that by that one, the first 2 Thor movies, and maybe it's because the first 2 Thor movies were not great, but I enjoyed the fact that they had fun with Thor. Thor is this god, and he's always kind of stiff, and he talks, he says things, and he doesn't quite understand. They had fun with him, and I felt like it made the movie way better because you could tell Chris Hemsworth was having fun, and whereas before it was kind of I'm trying to do Shakespeare in the Park, but I'm doing Thor, and I'm with me, and it just didn't work.
And I think the truth is my favorite Thor runs have a good dose of humor in different places. And I think I didn't think it was overdone. I felt like it was a great way to kind of look at some of the ridiculous elements. And Thor was still Thor. It still felt like Thor to me. It was just for me, the comedy came from him dealing with some of the crazy things around him, the collector's brother, the Grandmaster, who for me, Jeff Goldblum is freaking amazing in that movie. I just love everything about him. The whole Willy Wonka ride through the tunnel and the melting stick, and I just want more Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah.
If Adelphia asked if those are Charlie's toys or John's, hey, we don't draw those kind of lines in my household, Delphia. I don't know about you guys. We share in this house, right?
It's so funny because just because you said that, because my sister, my nephew, who's
Ragnarok,
has decided at the moment Legos are just he's into other stuff at the moment. Right. And my sister, who was really enjoying all the cool Legos, is darn it.
Yep. It's all right. I got some of the best stuff. I got Avengers Tower. I got the It's Your Birthday little rocket ships, and I got Ant-Man. I mean, look, he's like, there's Ant-Man. They have a tiny Ant-Man. They have a full-size. They have a giant man who's like, and then I've got actual Ant-Man in the middle. So I got all three sizes of Scott Lang. I mean, I'm happy with their Lego collection.
I know you sent me a picture the other day of like they have this like Mos Eisley Cantina set they're coming out with that has like the whole like cantina and all the characters that are in the cantina and everything. And she was like, it's like $300, and she was like, I want this, but I'm like,
see, I've never spent more than, I don't even think I've even spent $100 on any given Lego set. Occasionally, a grandparent might go a little above and beyond. Yeah. But we always stay on the low end, and there's tons of good stuff. And then when I go to cons with the girls, we look at those, we buy all the minifigures because that's what they really want, is just to have a team and they can build their own city and just have them destroy it,
Yeah. Yeah, I will be honest, like, because I had the pops and things, I've considered like just going to like getting rid of the pops and going to like the little Lego figures and just having them on my desk.
They're a lot of fun, and you can even put them like right in front of you, like right up close, and just be right across the bottom of the screen, as long as that doesn't pull your focus at all.
Yeah, have the feeling it would pull the focus, but
yeah, I mean, like we have our DC guys. Here's Jor-El here. Right. Oh. There you go. Oh, that Chewy, nice.
Great.
I think what else? They do love Lego Friends, which is how you get the lighthouse and the playground and all that stuff. Yeah. The hotel. And Kate's been getting the Harry Potter ones lately, so we got a bunch of Harry Potter ones.
Nice.
And I finally gave them some of my old action figures because my brothers think it's hilarious to give me nerd action figures at Christmas as like white elephant gifts, but they don't realize that I like them. So there's no like.
You're like, so every year, you're like, darn it again. And then later you're like,
I remodeled my cabinets and I put in a bunch of the trade paperbacks. So I had to get rid of some of my Lord of the Rings guys. So, Aragorn had to go down the hall, and Gandalf had to follow. Yeah. So a lot of my, the Hobbits. So I was like, well, hey girls, you got more action figures to play with.
There you go.
But like they'll find stuff at garage sales, and they'll be like, yo, John, this is hilarious for John. And I'm like, yeah, it's hilarious because I'm gonna love it.
So before I forget, hey, what's up, Bill? How's it going? Comic Mag Musings. Another participant in the 22 push-up challenge. Thank you very much for joining in on that. Also, John, well done on finishing. JP, by the way, good job on the running, man. It's running can be fun sometimes, but not usually.
He's rare. He's more consistent than me these days.
Well, I'm still getting going. So I did finally I ordered some running shoes. Like I had some running shoes but I'd been wearing them for a while, and I got me an actual a new set. So that just
that's important.
No, I know. Like I needed a new pair. So
I had so in May I ran 100 miles, and at first it was like, okay, I'll do 2 miles, and I was like, well, let's do 3, and I was like, well, can I do 4? Can I do 5? And then by the 31st, I did 9 miles that day. Woo. I was beat, but I hit it. It also put me just over 100 miles for the first time ever in a single month as well. And then July, there was a fundraiser brought to my attention called Stop Soldier Suicide. It's a foundation, and the challenge was to run 100 miles in the month of July. So I pieced it out into basically either 7 or 8 miles each day because I didn't know if I was going to be able to run every day. So I did basically every other day. And
maybe if they gave me a year.
Well, so I guess I kind of took a tangent there. I'd been using the same running shoes for like 3 years.
Oh, yeah, that didn't work.
And so in the month of May, when I did the 100 miles, I was still wearing those running shoes. And then I got new running shoes just before July. Like I went on July 1st so I could start running on July 2nd. And it made so much of a difference. Oh my God.
I bet.
Like you can, it doesn't, those old running shoes don't feel like there's anything left in them. Like it feels like you're just walking on the floor as it is. I use those for mowing the lawn now. So let's see real quick. I made a list again. My guesses, I know there's a lot of 9.8 guesses, but a lot of those books, there's really nothing wrong with them. And also they're modern, like you said. So there shouldn't be anything wrong with them. I tried to be a little harsh on one or two, like the Canto 1. And let me switch over so you can possibly see the mouse. Yeah, no mouse. So Canto 1. This one, though, looks like it's a straight up 9.8. I'm just a little nervous about those, even though they're manufacturer/shipping defects. These are the two first Simon Baz books. Those look like 9.8s. Star Wars Tales, I'm a little bit nervous about. There's some things that I didn't notice when I bought it, but then after I got it back from the presser, I went and looked at the eBay pictures again, and they were there. I just didn't realize they weren't part of the picture. So I'm going to be a little harsh on that. He said 9.6. I'm going with 9.4 on the Knights of the Old Republic 9. That looks like a 9.8. 9.8. I'm going to go with what he said. If it comes back a little bit lower, I won't be too upset. And then the Cap 600, I really want one of those to come back in a 9.8. It's been really frustrating so far. 196, 192. Hopefully this one comes back. I don't think it's going to be a 9.8 though, but we'll see. And then the Cat 354, 9.6. But they are all. So this one I'm going to sell. This one I will probably end up selling at some point, but not for a while.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, this one I might sell. Because I think that once she shows up in the show, it's going to skyrocket, and I may or may not be paying down an actual 9.8 right now as well to replace it with anyway. So,
well, you could do that.
So I'm the moron. Clone Wars 1, is that Ahsoka?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the one with the Rex, corner crease.
Is it Ahsoka and Rex?
Yeah, Ahsoka and Rex.
Yeah.
What's today?
Is that 12?
Rex is one of the clones. He's actually been in the movies, John.
I'm just making a dog joke.
Yeah. He was in Return of the Jedi. You just didn't know it.
What?
Oh yeah, he was.
They retconned the old guy that's like on the strike team on Endor. They retconned that as Rex.
Interesting. I actually don't know if it was interesting. I just said that it was interesting.
I know. I know. You didn't care.
I honestly, as much as I do know and enjoy Star Wars, I think in my heart, I'm more of a Trekkie. And the more I go through life, the more I realize I like the hopeful explorer perspective more than the let's just kill each other war perspective. And there's something that's always bothered me about the Jedi, and maybe the Clone Wars would fix it for me. Why did Oh, sorry.
I think that Ahsoka might fix it for you.
Okay.
Because she is much more questioning in an intelligent, not bratty way.
Yeah.
The way that the Jedi work.
The Jedi, are the Jedi a celibate order? They're not allowed to marry or have then
that she won't answer for you. Sorry.
I just that whole aspect of it doesn't make any sense to me, but whatever. I'm not sure. They're like monks or priests or something. Like I don't get that side of it.
Well, the side of it is they're supposed to avoid attachment because they're supposed to put the order and others above, because fear and loss and some of the things that come with potentially family, like could lead to the dark side, like leads them to selfishness and that kind of thing is what it's about. But they deal a little bit with that. She talks about it in several things when she's being trained about we're supposed to be compassionate for everyone, and yet we're not supposed to have attachment. How does that work? And like the duality of that they struggle with as an order and as a group. And
that bothered me about the prequels, that was like because that was not mentioned in any of the original films, and it became this whole, they're like religious almost. And I didn't care for that as like a core concept to the Jedi. Right. And especially when you look at like the idea that they are clearly having a lot of compassion for things and caring a lot. And then you have people like Mace Windu who just like loses his crap and decides to kill the Emperor right then and there. Like, and there's so many elements that are contradictory to that.
And some of that's just George is not a great story. Like, let me rephrase that. George is a great storyteller, but he's not necessarily a great writer. And like a lot of the flaws, particularly in the prequels, is just he needs somebody to write his ideas down. Like,
sorry, I just read Mag Musings. That's hilarious.
Data and Jordy,
yeah. So for me, I just like the positive, hopeful explorer perspective of Trek. And I grew up with Next Generation, and I grew up with the original films, which I think are really great. Like, I think they hold up as far as like as cheesy as the actors are. I think they inhabit those roles really nicely, and I can watch pretty much all of them except number 5 and get enjoyment out of them.
I will say
I grew up with the prequel trilogy of Star Wars, so I don't really have the same nostalgia as anybody.
Which I think is true. I mean, you talk about The Boy Who Had 7. The prequels are his like favorite movies in the trilogy.
Oh no, I'm not saying I enjoyed them. I'm saying that's just what I grew up with, which has kind of thrown a wrench into any possibility of nostalgia of Star Wars for me. It's all pretty new to me. Like, yeah, I watched all the movies, but the background, like the lore that the Star Wars Legends stuff gets into, is all completely new to me, and it's awesome. It's the science fantasy side. It's not the sci-fi side. I also really enjoy. Hey, TJ, sorry, that's what you were saying. What up,
so
TJ?
Like, Star Wars, as cool and exciting and bitchin' as it all is to kind of look at, and as much as I always wanted to be Han and roll through the universe in my Millennium Falcon with Chewie. Like, that was always my jam. That was the stuff I liked. Trek just felt more true to what I hoped the future would more be like, where we're not squabbling over stupid crap anymore. We're just trying to find a better place in the universe and improve the world for as many species as we can. And that I found far more encouraging, that like science could lead the way, and it wasn't about a strange religious order telling us what we should do.
Yeah. No, I definitely get that.
And I will say, like, what he was talking about before, like that Ahsoka would fix some of your thoughts about the Jedi, because it does go, the Clone Wars allows them to spend a lot more time on what the Jedi believe and what their order is about, because you're seeing her get trained, and it's not like like Anakin goes from a little kid to a Padawan to a Jedi, and like, you know, and you see Luke talk to Yoda for like 20 minutes and he's like, that's a Jedi training. And it's like, so you do get a lot more understanding of what they're trying to do, but you see they don't necessarily hide the flaws of what the Jedi that sort of leads to their downfall. Like, they're not hiding it. And like, the Jedi fail for a reason. It's one of the things, though, that like, I think of the most recent trilogy, and they didn't do the best job with it, but a lot of people made a lot of people mad, was that Luke was disillusioned. But like, there's a reason he's disillusioned, and he says the line in The Last Jedi, the Jedi need to end, is that there were flaws in the way they were operating that set them up for what happened, and getting white in the universe falling to Palpatine and the Sith, that they, because of the way they went about what they were trying to do and trying to be perfect in a certain sort of way, instead of being real and like. So they deal with some of that in there. I think not as well as I would still like them to, but so for me, Luke being like disillusioned, grumpy guy at the end because it failed again when his nephew turned on him when he tried to follow the Jedi path again, like made sense.
Yeah, that part never bothered me, but mostly it's because like I get that being a teacher could drive someone to insanity. So like I totally get. Some people can be great at a lot of things, and not teaching, not one of them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe Luke was a great Jedi and a horrible teacher. You don't necessarily have to be both, right? Clearly, Obi-Wan, same problem, right?
Right.
Yeah. Kachung, I would agree with JP on Heir to the Empire. I think that it is at a small peak right now. I think it's going to come back down, and then I think it's going to go up whenever they finally bring him to live action, because he is canon now that he like is in Star Wars Rebels, so they are able to put him in at some point.
And they've had a comic and they've had books, and
which is the most wonderfully canon character because it makes no connection to the books where he was originally created, because they can't, because the books aren't canon because there's no twins and there's no whatever, right?
I know, which sucks.
Which is hilarious and amazing. I grew up reading those. I think I've read the whole thing. I read them as like I was like 12. I don't remember them, but I remember Thrawn because he's just a cool looking guy on the cover. Yeah, I had all of them, which cover I think is hilarious. Is he like doing jazz hands on the cover there? What is that?
Wait, I don't know if you can see the spine. Like how many times I've read through that. Right.
But let me see the jazz hands again with the lights.
Yeah, like I don't know what's going on there.
I don't know what he's doing. He's got the jazz hands though. And he's got the abs. Look at the freaking abs on that guy. I forgot. Holy crap. Dude, look at that guy. He's the most ripped old. It's Alec when he's like 90.
He's got like a 16 pack.
Well, yeah. So that was the other thing that I think like they missed, because they were like, oh, we're scrapping all the legend stuff. Like if they were gonna, how much to me, like I wish that instead of Rey and Kylo, we'd have got Jason and Jaina. Like, and if you read like some of that legend storyline and how he falls and see like their relationship and that, like I think that would have been a better story. Like because he becomes Darth Cassius or something at some point, like later in the books when he's an adult.
I'm just doing a quick silent recap for TJ and anyone else who came in late while we continue.
Continue to talk about Star Wars instead of your books.
Well, I just figure instead of waiting until the end, it makes sense to just kind of quickly scroll through them, and then we can keep talking.
Yeah, so for me, like I feel like Star Wars and my love for Star Wars is, I don't know, it's similar to a lot of things, like people that complain about Comics Gate or whatever. For me, it's like is it written well? If it's written well, I'm going to enjoy it. It doesn't really matter if they made Spider-Man a Puerto Rican. Like that doesn't matter to me. Did they write a good story? And my problem with Star Wars is it's so inconsistent. Like there are moments that will give me chills. They're so good. Empire Strikes Back for me is still just an absolutely amazing movie and just a masterpiece. And there are moments in even Revenge of the Sith that I'm like, wow, that's really cool. And then there's the whole, I got the high ground, so I win the fight. Like that. It's like, come on, Jesus Christ. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
So for me, I go back and forth with it. I'm not saying Star Trek doesn't have those, because for every great moment, there's a Khan and whatever, but like, it's just good writing is what I go to every time. And so I watched the first 3 episodes of the Clone Wars and I was like, I don't know if I'm ready for this. I don't know if I'm here for this.
And I will and sort of to get like the whole, like, cause they did like a movie that like kicked it off, and then they went into the show, and I will say it, like the first couple seasons, are completely when Ahsoka is a kid, like the first couple of seasons, and she says like part of it is I think they were following George too much at the beginning. I'll be perfectly honest in the writing.
Yeah.
Dave got his feet under him and he really just started taking it over is when it got better. but when it's
no, go ahead.
But when it's good, like I said, like those final 4 episodes of the show, and in order to appreciate them, you have to have taken the journey from with Ahsoka and the clones, like,
sure.
and it's important to take the journey with the clones because the clones are probably in many ways the better part of the show than Ahsoka because they don't make them they're not stormtroopers, they're not faceless characters,
right?
They're even though they're all got the same face, they're very different, and like they do a good job of. And her relationship with the clones is a key part of that whole storyline.
So basically, you're saying it's the Facts of Life theme song, right? You take the good, you take the bad, you take them both, and there you got the Clone Wars.
No, I sent you the list so you can avoid the bad.
But you just said you got to go through all that stuff to really appreciate.
Well, the episodes that you need to watch are the ones that are like highlighted on that list.
Gotcha.
Like there's a lot. They go on like a 4-episode. At one point, they have like this 4-episode droid thing where R2 gets stuck with these other droids in the desert, and it's just terrible. And it's like,
and I'll say you could say the same thing for a lot. Like for my girls, we're going through the Star Trek Next Generation really slowly, but like we're using a similar list where we're like season 1 is pretty uneven. Let's just pick the key plot ones we need out of the 29 episodes they made. So that we can get to like the full seasons we might want to enjoy, like season 3 or whatever.
Yeah, and that's kind of what you have to do with this.
Okay. Well, I mean I think that was the big flaw of American television when it was like we're going to do 25 episodes this season, and it was like, you know what, that died for a reason.
They didn't need 25. Like they did that. Oh. Well, early in this, they were doing 20 episode seasons.
Yeah, that's what I think.
They didn't have it. Like, and plus you can avoid like the Jar Jar episodes and all that kind of stuff. But now I will say Rebels, I would just watch. Like I would just watch that. Like I don't. Yeah. It doesn't have that uneven.
I'll have to look at that list again to see where they fit Rebels in.
Oh, they don't. Rebels is not on that list. That's just the Clone Wars list.
Oh, okay. So Rebels should be after.
Yeah, okay. Rebels is post Order 66. I think it's before the original Star Wars movie.
Yeah, it's like. I think when it starts, it's like 6 or 8 years, 6 years before the New Hope or something like that, and it goes to like 4 years or 3 years before A New Hope, something like that. So it's in between.
Is he talking about Clone Wars? He's probably talking about Next Generation because TJ and I are big Trekkies.
Yeah, I think he's talking about Next Generation.
Season 1, I think we only are going to watch like 8 episodes of like the 30 or whatever they produced. So it's a low bar, but you got to get to meet Tasha. If you don't meet Tasha Yar, then her death doesn't mean anything. Spoiler alert.
Yeah. So yeah, there's not like. It's not quite that bad on Clone Wars, but yeah, and even in some of the ones that they put in there, you're going to be like, oh, really? But they're like, trust me, like the payoff is worth it. If you can make it, the payoff is worth it.
Honestly, when I did the first 3, I tried to convince my girls to watch it with me, and they only went through 1 episode. And they were like, I don't want to watch any of this, Dad. This is horrible.
Yeah.
And they're usually like down to watch all kinds of crap.
Well, I don't think the first 3 episodes are even on that list, but
I was like, come on, girls, it's animated, it's Star Wars, it's not gonna be scary. And they were just like, this is boring, I'm out. So I couldn't even convince them. Like usually they're like, they'll watch anything, but no, we're having
they wouldn't do it, huh? Well, then start them with Rebels. Like you won't understand when Ahsoka, it won't mean as much when Ahsoka shows up, but like Rebels is a better show overall.
Who are the main characters in Rebels?
The people that were in that Star Wars book he talked about, it's like a crew. Hera, Kanan.
I think the big issue they had was like they wanted a woman at the front. They wanted like a female lead, They didn't
These
want
two
like,
right here.
There are two really good female characters in it, but there's not.
Okay.
Well,
they didn't want Anakin or Obi-Wan. They were like, I don't care about Anakin or Obi-Wan. Get these guys out of here.
Ahsoka is like the central character after season 1.
Yeah.
Like she's still a main character, but then she becomes like the focal point as you go through.
The more the show goes, the more it focuses on Ahsoka. It's really Ahsoka's show once it gets later into it.
Mm-hmm.
I agree, TJ, but it's nice to give
TJ.
it. It's nice to give Tasha her moment before you just kill her, because then later, when you see how this continues to haunt the characters. It's funny because I'm rereading X-Men, and I just reread the issue where Thunderbird dies, and I forgot how lasting an impact that had. Killing off an X-Man made a huge impact to Cyclops, to Professor X, ongoing. And I think it was the same in Next Generation.
Yeah.
That they did a great job of kind of reflecting on that again and again through the runs.
So yeah, episode 1 they put on there, and then they don't have you watch another one until episode 5, like on the list.
So at this point, I'm only skipping episode 4.
Well, yeah, you already watched them, but yeah, but they actually have you start with they have you start with the movie. And it's really just because it sets up, because that's where she becomes Anakin's Padawan, even though the movie's not very good.
But I think I saw that. I think I watched that.
Yeah, and then it goes to the first episode of season 3 is actually the next episode that the first episode they have you watch.
Wait, so they did the movie, then they skip to season 3, and then they come back?
Well, Clone Wars didn't come out, was not released, like it wasn't told as a chronological story. It was told as like 3 or 4 episode vignettes of the war. So timeline, they weren't always in order.
So shouldn't I watch them in the order they were produced?
No, you should watch them. You can watch. This is telling you to watch them in chronological order.
Wow, that's a hot take. Because Perry, when he was going to do his Avengers watch from beginning to end, he was like, "Oh, I can do it chronological," and I said, "Don't," because they made their movies so that there are all these little inside jokes. That
this doesn't matter, though. It doesn't matter on this. You'd be better off just watching them like this guy says.
That's interesting. Okay. I just never would have thought that. Okay.
And part of that is because, like, one of the early episodes, the reason why episode 5 of season 1, which is rookies, like, and it has this Clone War team, like, it's their first mission. But by watching episode 1 of season 3, you actually get them in training. So you actually have more when they go on this mission and things happen to them, you already have met them and you understand how they became a team and why their relationships make more sense. Which, yeah, they told it there were flaws to the way they told the story. I'll put it that way. But the best parts of it are worth it. And
you're not the only one. Obviously, Backseat and you and Chaos and Comics will not stop giving me crap about it. I can't post anything Trek or Wars related without him saying something about Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Well, then maybe we'll have to join in on that.
Yeah.
Petition of pestering.
John does a reaction series. Maybe I'll set up a Patreon, and anybody who pays a certain amount can force me to watch something. And they're like, "Hey, you gotta watch Clone Wars."
Is that what Perry's doing now through the Avengers movies? Is he's making them telling him what to watch?
Oh, his Patreon has been that way for months. It was that way when he started the Avengers thing, and it was starting to get really popular. He set up a Patreon, and people who pay a certain amount are allowed to pick movies for him. And if they pay at certain levels, he has to watch the movie. Like you could put in Deep Throat, and he would have to watch that movie. Like, done.
What's the worst movie you could make him watch?
I don't know. I hate Tom Hanks' The Burbs. That would be high on my list. Like, just suck it, Perry. Suck it.
What's this crap?
Like, other people, lower Patreons can suggest movies, and he keeps a running tally of those if they get high enough in the suggestions. But other Patreons can just say, I paid this amount, watch it. And I was joking with him that I could set up something similar. The problem is I've seen everything. Not the Clone Wars. Not the Clone Wars.
That would be the one thing. The one thing.
Right.
But you also haven't watched Rebels.
Yeah.
So two things.
Two things.
This is true. But actually, I prefer the way Hero and the Kid did it, where it's like they only have one level, and I think it's $4. And they're like, their whole thing is for $4, you're buying Will a comic book each month. And that's a cool way to look at it. And I'm a chintzy bastard, so I've not done anybody's Patreons. I don't do any of that stuff because I don't want to be the guy that's like, well, you did JP's, why aren't you doing mine?
That's just
so instead, I'm just like, I'm gonna say no to everybody. But
that's
like I like the way Hero and the Kid are doing it because Sean and Will are doing really cool stuff, and I love their channel. And I like that they're saying, we want Will to read books. And if you're supporting us by buying him a book every month, it makes the show a little better. And Will gets a comic. Mm-hmm. That's a cool price point.
Yeah.
Well, so I did hit the monetize button or whatever, where I have like the ads and stuff, but I haven't done a Patreon because I can't support other people's Patreons. It's like I can't support everybody I'd want to, so I don't support it like you. I don't support anybody, and it's
right.
but then I don't ask people to support me that way. So
right. Well, and I had a bunch. I mean, when I hit 1,000, I had a bunch of people saying like, "Why aren't arguing with me?" Saying, "I want to hit the super chat or I want to donate. Like, please do this." And I was like, "I just don't want this to be a job." And then recently, the Boy Who Had 7 asked me on one of his shows, and I had a whole new wave of people saying, like, you got to do this. And then we've had a little financial drama the last year, obviously, like everybody. And so it's been a bigger conversation lately.
Uh-oh, you're in trouble.
Never sent me a Christmas card. Thanks. Yeah. I sent you a Venom 3, though.
I'm bad about that, too.
He paid for that though. So yeah. So like it's become a renewed conversation of, do I do this just to allow people to say, hey, I want to buy John a comic every month and hear what he has to say about it and make me, I get to pick now. John, you got to read Batman, the Joker War or whatever. I don't know.
That would not be a bad idea. Like, some cross between Perry's and Will's where it's still cheap and it's just for a book, but then they tell you what book they want you to read.
Right. That could be kind of cool, I think. I don't know.
Or like for book club.
Yeah, I can't wrap my head around it. I can't wrap my head around because we're evolving book club, but the whole evolution is the idea that Alec and I can show more of what we are enjoying and less of forcing ourselves to read books that we can't stand.
Yeah.
And it's hopefully a little more joyful, but with still the same deep dive debates and discussions. And occasionally both of us are reading the exact same books so we can get even deeper on it. And be less of a typical new comic book day. Let me just run through the books I bought kind of thing. I don't know. We're trying to evolve the show. I mean, it's been 2 years that we've been doing it. It's crazy. 2 years went by really fast.
I'm sorry to cut this. I won't say short because it's
it's been 2 hours you've been doing this.
It's the longest live stream I have ever done. But
we should talk about Star Wars and other random stuff.
You get John
it was fun
talking about Star Wars and you're done.
That was my intent. But yeah, I have to get up at not a reasonable hour to run because it's not deathly hot anymore, but tomorrow's the one day that I'm able to go and do that still. So I'm going to call it. Thank you guys all for John and JP for jumping onto the panel, into the chat. I don't even know what to call it anymore. Into the stream. There we go. Thank you, TJ Kachung, Bill, if you're still here. I think there's only 3 people watching, but thank you all for joining us. Hopefully it will not be too long before I can show the unboxing of these books and in the grades that I estimated or better. That's always nice. Yeah.
That would be cool.
Thank you. But until then, keep your eyes on the road.